Anybody who is afraid of failure can never shine in sports. Anybody who is afraid of failure can never shine in science. Anybody who is afraid of failure can never be a businessman. You've read or you've already heard about how Thomas Alva Edison, some people say 2,000 times, some people say 1,000 times, some people say 10,000 times. There's no way to measure. But as a scientist, he was trying to work on inventing storage batteries. Right now, we can't even think of a life without batteries. But those days, batteries didn't exist. There was nothing called storage battery. So you can have live electricity and things will work or it won't work. So somewhere Thomas Alva Edison as a scientist thought, if there is a way by which this energy can be stored in a battery, then we can keep using it all the time. So he was doing, and he failed. We don't know 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 times, but he kept failing. So one of his friends came and asked Thomas Alva Edison, how does it feel for a scientist as famous as you to have failed 10,000 times? What are the chances? If you have failed 10,000 times, how many people in the world will still not give up? And here was a man who told his friend, when his friend asked him, how does it feel for somebody as famous as you, a scientist, that you have failed 10,000 times? And Thomas Alva Edison replied saying that, failure? I don't know what you're talking about. Now I found 10,000 ways how a storage battery cannot be done. And I'm still experimenting. And finally, he came up with a storage battery and it changed the way we live life. He used to do all his experiment inside a thatched shed. And those days there was no computers. So everything is manual record. So all his observations, experiments, everything he has kept it in a manual record. And this thatched hut was on fire. It was burning. Years of his experiment. For anybody who is interested in science, you will know that what all these observations and recordings of various experiments mean to you, because they are all leading you towards some success. Years of his observation, years of all his records, everything was getting burned along with that hut. Edison was sitting outside and observing this entire fire because he couldn't do anything. He knew years of his good work is getting lost. Thomas Alva Edison's son came and gently placed his hands on his father's shoulders and he told his father, Dad, I know how you are feeling. Edison turned towards his son and told him, I'm not feeling anything. All my mistakes are getting burnt. And I will start again in life, he said. So now you look back at Edison's life and you realize anybody who is afraid of failure can never be a scientist. It's called itself an experiment. Why is it called an experiment? Because I don't know what results will come. That's why it's called an experiment. You are sure about the result, it won't be called experiment. It will be called experience. So in science, it's all about experiment. So anybody who's afraid of failure can never be a scientist. Anybody who's afraid of failure can never shine in sports. Djokovic is knocked out. He has to come back. England lost the last match. They lost the last match. They have to come back. Federer is out of this Grand Slam. He has to come and play the next. For being Messi, he has still not won a World Cup yet for his country. You still hope that in the next World Cup I will do it. Anybody who is afraid of failure can never shine in sports. Anybody who is afraid of failure can never shine in science. Anybody who is afraid of failure can never be a businessman. Because every businessman who has succeeded enough has also failed enough. Anybody who is afraid of failure can never be an entrepreneur, can never be a businessman. Never be a businessman. You have to only take a secure job. Anybody who is afraid of failure can never be in selling. Because you have to fail so many times before you succeed in selling. Anybody who is afraid of failure can never be a writer, because you will write and your writing can get rejected. You will write and your publisher may not even get excited about it. Anybody who is afraid of failure can never be a performer, because some of your performances will fail. Even a Rajinikanth movie fails. Even a Shah Rukh Khan movie fails. You do whatever you want to do, you still lose an election. I'll tell you now elections must be coming in all your schools. School head must be getting selected, school people leader. Some of you will not stand in the election only for one reason: afraid of failure. Some of them who are standing there in the election are not standing because they are absolutely confident they'll win the election, but they don't care whether they fail or they succeed, but they want to give it a chance. The only reason some of you will not take part in a school day function, or will not go for a debate competition, will not take part in an oratorial competition, will not stand in the election, the only reason is you are afraid of failure. And I have seen people in life who have failed, but some stage woken up in life and said, it's behind me, now I'm going to succeed in life. If you get a few things right at this age, you're going to have an edge for the rest of your life over everybody else. Over everybody else. In fact, generally people who always come school first, always come school topper, always come, only success they have seen in life, only 3 out of 10 of those people start business. Because they always succeed in life, they don't want to do anything where they'll take a job in a bank or a multinational or a government and they will settle down there so that there is no chances of failure. So when I told you last Infinipath, some of the qualities you develop at this age will give you an edge for the rest of your life. And one of the things I have observed in observing people all through my life is, failure is an event, it's not you. If I failed in a debate, it just means I failed in a debate. I have not failed. I'll still come back and succeed. If somewhere in my 10th standard, my scores were not what I expected, it simply means my scores were not what I expected. I can always make it up in my 11th. Somewhere in 12th, I got very good scores in all the subject, and one of the subject it did not turn out to be what I expected it to be. There are still chances in life. That's not final. It's an event. 12th standard results is an event. You wanted to study in a particular college and you didn't get admission in that college, you had to study somewhere else. It simply means that it's an event. It's not that everybody who studied, your gang has gone to that college, you went to another college. Pudu gang varum. In fact, when you go to a new college, you get a new gang and you get to keep your old gang. You have 2 gangs now. People who went with a gang have only 1 gang. I'm sure all of you have gone through this in school. So they suddenly changed your section to another class because you were too talkative in that group. So they didn't want you to be in that group. So they took sadistic pleasure in putting you in another class. They thought they have split you from your friends. And you also had a long face when you went back to school. Some of you would have come back crying also. And 3 months later you find during lunch and interval you have the old gang. During the free period you have the new gang. In fact, I have seen this in life. The guys who succeed the best in life are part of many gangs. Some of you must be doing group studies, no? Group only, not studies. It's called group studies. So one of the things that I have seen in life is people who succeed the maximum in life are not afraid of failures. They somehow, that doesn't mean they are waiting to fail all the time. They treat it as an event and they are ready to bounce back in life. So how do you respond? What sort of inspiration, what sort of dissatisfaction, what sort of motivation with which you respond to sometimes when things don't go right for you in life? How do you bounce back? There's a beautiful word for this. It's called resilience. 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 It's a quality that you have to cultivate. It simply means if life puts me down 7 times, I'll get up 8 times. I'll get up one more time in life, then I fall. In every aspect of life, people who have succeeded because if life puts them down, they're ready to get back one more time. Now, I don't care whether you are in the top 3 in academics right now or not, how multi-talented you are. Any one of you sitting here who has that one quality saying that, whatever may be the reason, if life ever puts me down, I'm going to get up again. One of the most famous presidents of America is Abraham Lincoln. And he said, my glory is that every time I fell down, I dusted myself and got up one more time. Swami Chinmayananda said it differently when he said, my greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time I fell. My greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time I fell. In Infinityism, we have a very simple language to it. If life puts you down 7 times, you will get up 8 times. Finally, life should give up. There's no point in giving him a failure. Anyway, he'll get up again. Might as well let him succeed in life. So whatever happens, there is no give up in life. So I want all of you to internalize, even 10 of you from here, internalize this. No matter what, the one dominant thought in your mind will always be, I'll bounce back. Whatever happens, I will bounce back.